Hey, Brewed Mamas, welcome back to Behind Her Coffee Stories of Motherhood. I'm your host, the unknown mom, just a mom with a cup of coffee and a story to tell. This is where we talk about the real parts of motherhood, the overstimulated parts, the messy middles, and the moments that don't always photograph well, and the decisions that might look confusing from the outside, but feel completely right in your heart. This is a space where we say the quiet things out loud. If these stories resonate with you, make sure you follow the podcast on whatever app you're listening on. Just tap the follow button so you don't miss what's next. And today's story is called Breaking Cycles Without Breaking Yourself. But before we get into that story, here's what we're getting into today. We've got the toddler mom life, a hot mess confession, and a teacher tip you can try this week. And then we're going to talk about something I think every mom struggles with. How do we raise our children differently than we were raised without carrying constant guilt? So pour yourself a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and let's begin.
Watching them grow up too fast. These tiny moments always last. Little sleepy sighs and sleepy smiles, making all these early mornings worthwhile. Behind her coffee, stories of motherhood.
It's time for
Toddler time.
All right, mamas, let's go ahead and talk about toddler life. So my youngest, I feel like it kind of goes into all the toddler bed stuff because last time I talked about my daughter being transitioning into a toddler bed, I was saying, we were kind of forced into it. My husband and I weren't really ready. She was because she kept climbing out of everything and we just kind of, we have to do the safest thing possible. So now Little Miss Independent is now starting to do more things on her own. She's starting to want to dress herself. She's starting to want to do her hair. She's starting to want to do everything on her own. And the moment I touch it, oh no, she's not having it. Let me give you an example. I was helping her put on her shirt. I put it over her head. Now I do it. So she takes it off. And so she goes to do it again, but she's putting her head through the armhole. And I'm thinking, okay, I need to help her do this. So I help her do it again. No, I do it. Oh my goodness. We kept going on and on and on and on. And I think I told this in the last episode too of this shirt struggle. And tell me why it happened again. We have pants now. I do it. And it was funny because my husband was like, why are her pants on backwards? And I'm just like, just leave it. Just leave it. Because she doesn't obviously know the tags. My oldest, it was funny because I had to really think about how to teach a child, where does the tag go? And she finally has it, obviously. But the youngest one doesn't know. And I'm not going to go into details with a 1.5-year-old trying to tell them, okay, so this is where the tag goes. You need to make sure. No, we always start off with backwards clothes. My oldest did. And this one's going to too. So we're going to have backwards clothes as she starts practicing some more. But it's the cutest thing because when she gets her clothes on, this big smile comes on her face. And I have to go, yeah, I'm so proud of you. And she's so happy that she did it. And she has to go to her sister and her sister goes, wow. She goes to her dad. Her dad goes, wow. She has to show everyone that she did it on her own. And I think it is the cutest thing. Frustrating, don't get me wrong. Every mom has been there where you're trying to leave the house, where you're trying to do something, trying to change their diaper, trying to get them ready. And nope, they want to do it. And they're telling you, stop, I'm going to do it. Slow down. It's not you, it's me. And you have this constant struggle between you and your toddler when they start realizing they're independent. And I am in it with this one because we obviously weren't ready for this type of independence. And I have a feeling potty training is coming up soon, which I really didn't want to start this early, but she has already been vocalizing it. She's been noticing, she's been really ready for it. And so now I guess I'm going to have to start thinking and going back into potty training, which I really didn't want to do. But hey, once you get to the point where you don't need diapers on the kid, that's nice because that's a win. And that's no more diapers that you have to have. But then you also have to carry around the potty. You also have to keep asking questions. There's always accidents. Accidents happen. To parents out there who are just starting to potty train or if they've never done it, it's a whirlwind. And people are going to have their opinions. People might like your style. People might not like your style. But just know, you know what's best for your kid and just keep going. It's a struggle. And if you don't commit, it's one that's just going to continue. And there's hard-headed kids that will fight you on it. And there's kids who won't. And it's just a way of, just finding your balance and finding what works for you and your family. Because at some point, they're going to be using the potty on their own. And I remember with my first, I was thinking, oh, this is a lot. And I started potty training her around she was 2 years old and 2 months. And I had like a 3-month-old. And it was a lot. And I just remember thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. And there's always differencing in opinions and always people not doing it the same way you do. And that's okay. And I didn't mind the kind of the back and forth on agreement or disagreement, but I knew I was doing what was best for my kid in my scenario. There are things that I wish I would have done better. I hope that the second time it'll be more of a smoother journey, but they get it. They get there. And now it's just it's transitions. Can we say that? Every kid, there's always a transition in this from baby to toddler until they're a kid. And then you're not having to do so many transitions, so many sleep regressions, so many changes. Oh my goodness, there's so many changes these first few months. I'm sorry, first few years, all these years. But like I said before, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and we will get there, and we will get there together. All right, it's time for
Miss Mom.
Okay, I kept thinking about what am I going to talk about in this hot mess mom segment. And I was talking to my daughter this morning. She was playing with a couple of her toys on the stairs, and on the bottom, she was using that bottom step as kind of like a table for her. And she was getting so frustrated with her toys. I noticed with her, she doesn't come and ask for help. All she does is she gets frustrated, she gets mad, and she waits for us to kind of notice and to go to her. I turned and I told her, I can't help you unless you ask for help. And I'm just going to say, the moment I said that, I felt like it was the kettle telling the pot that it was black or whatever that saying is. Because it was like, okay, do you ask for help? And I'm thinking, I don't ask for help. And I'm telling her that she needs to ask for help and she needs to make sure she tells people you can't just sit there and wallow in your anger and have people just notice that you're angry or notice that you're frustrated. Come on. No one does, but I swear I feel like sometimes us as women, we want other people to notice that you're not okay. And we want other people to ask instead of opening up our own mouths and saying something. So I kind of thought, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to reflect on my own actions and for me to think, I really do need to open up my mouth and ask for help when I do need it and not care about what other people are saying, not care about what other people think, because it's not about their mental health. It's about my mental health. And for my mental health, if I need the help, I need to ask for it. I can't expect other people to read my mind for me. If I'm frustrated, guess what? Some people might not read it on my face because I can definitely hide it very, very well. I can definitely keep it in. You might see with my eyes, I might be a little snippy here and there. But other than that, I can completely just kind of put a smile on, frustrated inside, like I'm going to lose my mind on you. And no one's going to know, because I have a smile on my face. And I've learned that growing up through other things, to just kind of put a smile on your face and just like forget like it's never happened, push it deep, deep down. And I don't want my daughter to ever feel like she has to hide how she feels and she can't ask for help. That's something I don't ever want her to feel like she can't do. Because as she's getting older, she's going to need help. Everyone needs help at some point. So I want her to be able to come to me for help if she has it or if she needs it. Before I can expect her to do that, I think I need to start modeling that. And it kind of makes me sad. I saw a TikTok earlier. By the way, if you're not following me, go ahead and follow me. There was a mom that was sitting and talking. She was holding her baby. I don't remember her handle. If I remember, I would show you guys, or tell you guys. But she was like, I don't ever say that I need help because it feels like I'm talking to the police. And you have to think about all the people who are judging, all the people who are criticizing every time you ask for help. And these moms are here struggling, trying to make it through, and there's no one to talk to. And then so many of us don't have a village. And that is why I created this space, because I want us moms to talk to each other, to have a space to talk to kind of come together and really say, this is how I'm feeling. And let me to ask another mom. And this is not a judgmental space, because obviously as a hot mess mom confession, I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to grow from, and I feel like we can all learn from each other, and I feel like we can all grow with each other and just sit here and kind of, if you need to cry, cry on my shoulder. I'm here. I can hear you. I just really want that. And I really hope this goes further to other moms so they can listen and hear that, we're all here together. This is not just for me to just, hey, look at me, look at my life, look at what's going on with me. It's really not about that. What it's about is, hey, yeah, this is what I'm going through. Are you going through that too? Can we talk? Can we have a conversation? Can we go through this together? Because we are all hot mess mamas all together, right? We're all here together. We're all brewed mamas together. And we need to actually bond and kind of create that sisterhood, because that's the only way that we're going to move forward in a healthy, healthy way. All right, let's get into our teacher tip for the week. And that is going to be water bottle caps. So what you're going to do if you want to teach your kid how to learn their name. And I'm going to kind of pull this from my kindergarten teacher time. By the end of the school year, there were certain kids that maybe didn't know their name yet or know as many letters as they should have. So what I would do is I would create kind of like a strip. I would write their name, and then I would get water bottle caps, and I would write the letter on the top of the cap. What we did is I would give them a little baggie, put all the letters that I created with the water bottle cap in their baggie with their name, and then we would sit together. Mind you, here is the key tip that I'm going to tell you. Do your name as well. Even if you haven't taught your kid that you have a name, like some people do, you're just mommy, then do mommy, right? Write mommy down and do it that way. And what you're going to do is you're going to match your name with the letters, or the letters in your name with the letters that you have on the bottle caps. And so it becomes kind of like a letter manipulative that you have. So you put it on and you do your whole name, and they do it, and you do one letter at a time. And as you're putting it, you're also saying the letter, or saying, actually for this one, let's just do identifying letters. So you're just going to say the letter. Then after you've done the whole name, you are going to make a pile in the middle. And after you make a pile in the middle, each of you are going to pick a letter. And when you pick the letter, so let's say it's O, and you're going to say, oh, look, this is an O. You see, letter O. Is there an O in my name? And then you look, if there's an O in your name, you put it down. And everyone has to, or your child has to look and see, oh, she does have an O in your name, her name. And you can actually say, hey, do you have an O in your name? And if it's a yes, then it's like, oh, then we probably have another O in the pile. If it's a no, then it's like, oh, okay, look at my name has an O, your name doesn't. And you keep going through and you're identifying the letters as you go through. And not only are they learning the letters in their name, they're learning the letters in your name. And you are just growing those letters as they go, that identifying. Because in order for them to learn how to know the sounds, they actually have to know the letter. They have to be able to identify the letter. They have to know that's an A first before they learn eh. And that's really going to build the foundations for when you go to reading. Because when you read, or when a child starts sounding out a word, they have to be able to identify the letter to be able to realize, okay, so this is the sound that I need to make with that letter when they start sounding out words while reading. It's a great tip. My daughter is starting this at 3 years old, and we just kind of take out the bag, let's practice making your name, and then you put it back. Really quick, maybe 5-minute activity, or you can make it longer if you're doing the pile. And they absolutely love it. And what I like to have my daughter do, I like to have her put all the letters down first. So why don't you try it? And so she tries it, she puts it all down, and then I go through each letter of her name. And if there's one that's not the same, I go, uh-oh, try again. So she tries again. And I'm like, well, this is this letter. And you always say the letter. And she goes, oh, okay, so that's not it. So then we keep going through each letter until she actually gets it and she sees, oh, I made my name. She's 3, so she needs the help. And we're kind of working on it together. I'm not expecting her to be able to do this the first time or correct right now. I'm expecting a 5, almost 6-year-old to be able to do that. So if your 3-year-old is struggling, that's okay. If your 4-year-old is struggling, that's okay. If your 5-year-old is struggling, depending on when they're 5, that's okay. If they're almost 6 years old and they're struggling, we need constant practice. We need practice with those letters. We need practice with more letters and really getting that fluency with identifying letters. So that is your teacher tip for the week. Before we get into today's story, I want to introduce a new segment called Brewed Mama's Story. This is where real, honest moments from this community get shared, the kind we don't always say out loud. These stories come from Brewed Mamas over on Patreon. And today we have our first one. This Brewed Mama shared. It's only Tuesday and I'm already deep in mom guilt. I've been dipping into the little savings I have just to give my kids experiences. And I caught myself repeating what my grandmother did for me, making things happen even when we really couldn't afford it. And I'm realizing something as a mom. Just because I can make it happen doesn't mean I should. Now my daughter wants to skip her own prom, the one we already paid for to go to her cousin's. And I had to say no to paying for another one. And it hit me. Am I creating core memories or unrealistic expectations? Because I'm stuck between wanting to give them everything and needing to teach them what real life looks like. And the truth is, sometimes being a good mom isn't saying yes. It's having the strength to say no. Because as much as I want to give them the world, I also have to prepare them for it. And sometimes love looks like no. Wow, that right there is what this episode is about. Whew. I just have to say that is a moment that all of us can kind of relate to. The having to say no and realizing that that's love sometimes. Today's story isn't about one moment. It's about a question. One I don't think we say out loud enough. How do we raise our children differently than we were raised without constantly wondering if we're getting it wrong? Because for a lot of us, we're not just raising kids. We're trying to break cycles. Some of us were raised by mothers who always said yes, not because they didn't believe in boundaries, but because they were trying to make up for something. Maybe it was the life we were in, the struggles we were surrounded by, the things they couldn't control. So they overgave, they overcompensated, they carry guilt, they try to soften it with love. And now we're sitting here trying to figure out how to give our children everything without losing the structure they need. We're trying to give more without giving too much. We're trying to set boundaries without feeling like we're taking something away. And now we're trying to do it differently without even fully knowing what different is supposed to look like. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, we're carrying this quiet weight of guilt. This is our story.
Mommy.
Mhm.
Mommy.
This is where it shows up the most. And now we're the ones in it. We're the ones deciding what our children experience, what they hear, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And it sounds simple until you're actually in the moment. When your child is laughing and having fun and everything in you wants to say yes. But something in you also says, this is where I need to hold the line. And suddenly it's not just a decision. It feels like a weight. Because saying no doesn't just feel like setting a boundary. Sometimes it feels like you're taking something away from them. But saying yes all the time comes with its own fear too. Because then you start to wonder, am I preparing them for the real world? Or am I making it harder for them later? So now every decision feels bigger than it is. It's not just, do I let them do this? It's, what kind of person am I raising? And I know I'm still in the toddler phase. I know this looks different when they're teenagers, when the decisions are bigger, when the stakes feel higher. But I also know it's the same because what we allow now, what we teach now, what we repeat now, those things don't just disappear. They continue. And one phrase I keep coming back to is, don't start things with people you don't want to continue. And for me, that includes my children. I don't want to create habits now that I don't want to carry later. And then there's another layer to this, one that I had to learn through experience. I'm building this podcast, I'm building this business because I want to be here. I don't want to miss their childhood. I don't want to be gone all day. I don't want someone else raising them. This is for them. But I remember when I first started, I was on the phone more, trying to figure out, trying to build something from nothing. And one day, my daughter said, "Mommy, put your phone down." And that moment stayed with me because it made me question everything. Am I doing this the right way? Is this actually helping them or hurting them? And I realized I had to find a better kind of balance. So now I don't record unless I have time. I don't sit there doing take after take. I give myself 2 takes and then I'm done when it comes to recording and when it comes to social media. Because I don't want this to take away from them. I want it to support the life I'm building with them, not replace it. And that's when I started to understand something. Boundaries aren't just for our children. They're for us too. Because how I show up, what I allow, what I make space for, that matters just as much. And even with that, there are still moments I question myself because that's motherhood. There's always going to be a moment where you wonder if you're getting it right. So when that guilt gets loud, when I start questioning everything I'm doing, I try to imagine something. I try to imagine what my daughter would say to me if they could fully understand me right now.
Mommy.
I don't know all the big words yet, and I don't always listen. And sometimes I pretend I don't hear you, but I see you. I see you when you laugh with me, like the real laugh, the one where you can't stop. That's my favorite one. I hear you when you tell me you love me every day, even when I don't say it back, even when I'm too busy playing. I always hear you, and I keep it. You're always teaching me things, even when I don't want to learn. You show me how to try again, how to be kind, how to keep going when something feels hard. Sometimes I don't like it, but I know you're helping me grow. You hold my hand when we walk, and sometimes I try to pull away. But when I reach back, you're still there. You're always there. Sometimes I see you when you're sad. You try to hide it. but I see your eyes and your voice sounds different. I don't really understand why, but you always tell me it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sad. And then you smile at me and you tell me you love me. So I know you're okay again. Sometimes I get mad at you because I don't want to stop playing, or I don't want to listen and I think you're being mean. But you still come back to me. You still hug me. You still help me. You still take care of me. And I don't always say sorry right away, but I feel it. You gave me my sister, and we sometimes fight, but I'm really glad she's here. Because now I always have a friend, someone to laugh with, to play with, to grow with. Even when we don't get along, I know she's mine forever. You feed me, you cuddle me, you hold me when I'm tired. Sometimes you look really tired too, but you choose me. At night when I'm scared and the dark feels too big, I call for you, and you always come every time. You lay with me and my sister, and I feel safe again. I don't like being away from you for too long because I miss you. You're my safe place. I love dancing with you, singing with you, being silly with you. And I love that you let me be me. Even when I want to wear princess dresses every day, even when nothing matches, you look at me like I did it right. And it makes me feel like I can do anything. Sometimes I see you on your phone and I say, Mommy, put it down because I want you. I don't see the work or the building or the trying. I just see Mommy. And even when you're busy, you always come back to me. You always choose me. I see you trying. I see you loving me. I see you being my mommy. And I don't need perfect. I just need you. And Mommy, you're already everything to me. And when I get bigger, I still want to hold your hand, even if it looks different. I want to sit with you, talk to you, laugh with you, and go get coffee with you. I want to tell people that's my mom, the one who was there, the one who loved me, the one who taught me, the one who didn't always say yes, but always did what was best for me, the one who showed me how to be strong and kind and real. And one day, when I have my own life, maybe even my own kids, I'll understand everything. The boundaries, the no's, the sacrifices, the moments you thought you were getting it wrong, and I'll see you were getting it right all along. And I'll come back to you, not because I have to, but because I want to. Because you were never just mom. You were my safe place. Maybe the balance isn't in getting everything right. Maybe it's in knowing that even in the moments we question ourselves, our children are still feeling our love. Thanks for listening to Behind Her Coffee, Stories of Motherhood, where the stories are honest, the coffee, oh, it's necessary, and we're all just trying to find the balance.
Behind her coffee, stories of motherhood.
A Coffee with Carmen production.